AOC is tweeting about climate change again. And Cernovich has a response that says, if climate change were real, people wouldn't be behaving in the way you do. You won't be driving around in private jets. Which is kind of a lame argument, because it is and it isn't. Because overall, it doesn't really matter if one person's doing something. But on the other hand, if they really thought this was a big thing, they should probably show, some leadership on the deal. Say, oh, this is a big deal, I'm going to do my part by not taking private jets, owning all these houses and whatever. So they're just greedy. They think it's real, but they don't give a fuck. That's what it really is. So I think they believe in it because, you never hear about it. You never hear the end of it. But I think they just don't care. They're just greedy. Like, oh, my little bit doesn't matter that much. And I'm important. I'm an important person, so I get to, skirt the rules. Everybody else, you guys can live without air conditioning. But me, I'm a big important politician or public figure, so I don't really need to play by these rules, these plebes. So I can do whatever the F I want and then lecture you on climate change. I'm really surprised this is still a thing. I'm surprised that climate change is hanging around. I mean, AOC is, of course, a fucking moron. And she's being fed stuff. She's not smart enough to look into these things and come to a conclusion on herself. She's like Hunter Avalone. She'll just read some, report. And, the conclusions say this, so therefore I believe this. Like a fucking idiot. Only an idiot would do that. How do you not question all of the things in this report? Just look at a report and go, this is data. That's it. I believe it. You have to look into the assumptions, the methodology, all of these things. You don't just look something up and say, oh, this is data. I believe it. The experts. I'm going to tell you something. The experts don't know shit. The experts are full of fucking shit. There's variability with fucking everything. Everything. Particularly in this increasingly fraudulent study known as climate science. Here's the thing. All of the shit that we need to know, like the basic things for what we needed to know, have been figured out hundreds of years ago. We know gravity. We know the forces of gravity. And everything kind of flows from that. We know about thermodynamics. We know about how air and temperature relate to each other. All of these things have been figured out. So when you go to school for, say, engineering, then you learn these things. You learn about these things. You learn them from the ground up. You learn about mathematics, you learn about physics, you learn about chemistry, you learn about biology if you're going that way, and you learn about these things. Now, biology probably in more of an evolving field, of course. Computer science is another field that's fairly recent. But as far as the climate and study that goes into that, what they're doing is just like statistical analyses, and they're bullshitting their way through it. If you look at all these, studies that they do, they're literally trying to use tree ring data to replicate the temperature of the Earth and the amount of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, different chemicals in the Earth. This isn't very scientific. It's kind of empirical, which is a nice way of saying bullshit. If you don't really know the science behind it, then you're fucking bullshitting your way through it. I see this all the time in engineering, and it's not a bad thing, really. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because you would just take your best guess upon best available data, and then you make an assumption from that. But it's not scientific. Not necessarily scientific. It's really just statistical. It's an empirical equation. Okay, this equation that I made up out of nothing seems to cover most of the data points that I have. Therefore, we're going to use, maybe we'll bump it up by a factor of safety, but this is what we're going to use for an equation. It's called like an envelope equation. So for your climate science nonsense, they took their cores, their ice cores, and their tree ring data, whatever. Now they're using, satellite weather, which, how reliable is that? I don't know. And then they declare it's the warmest year on record. Well, we didn't have any fucking records in 1650. So how the fuck can you say this is the warmest year on record? You got your ice cores, you got your bullshit tree rings, which do not correlate, or they correlate very, very poorly, which is why you had to bullshit the hockey stick. The hockey stick, which is the main thing, like the iconic figure in the study of climate change by Dr. Michael Mann from Penn State, who's a fucking fraud. The hockey stick is fabricated. They had to hide the decline. So they think basically this just throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing. So if here's the deal with me. If you lie to me, then I tend to not believe you for the rest of the shit that you're going to say. Like, how many times are you going to allow people to lie to you? And then you just accept what they're going to say, like this whole community of climate science. And they can only come back. There's like a million different ways to come at this. There's been videos made. Here's 10 ways to, there's 1,000 things that you can strike back at them at. But then they come back with, oh, you're a denier. You're a Holocaust denier, right? You're a climate science denier. It's settled science. That's settled. What the fuck are you talking about? Nothing is settled science. I mean, gravity is settled science. Thermodynamics is settled science. It's got fucking climate data. Weather changes all the fucking time. You get new data, and then you change. If we get 50, if you're in a place that gets 20 inches of rain a year, and one year you get 50 inches of rain, then your statistical analysis will change how much rain you get. That's just how it goes. It's not settled. You can't just declare something settled. There's been so much bullshit going on in this industry that I just don't believe any of it. I don't believe anything that these people say. And they gotta trot out a 16-year-old autistic, or once you get Asperger's or whatever the fuck. How dare you? In front of the United Nations. Okay, first of all, that's your first problem. The United Nations is running this shit. The most corrupt political or apolitical body in the world. Like, they're gonna fucking tell everybody what to do. Fuck you. This is climate change is like the wet dream of globalism. Yeah, let's tell everybody to not use fossil fuels so that people can be poor, and live a shitty life. Yeah, that's much better to have fucking refugees. What do you call it? Climate refugees. Now it's climate refugees because the Earth's going to get warmer, so they have to come. So they have to come to the United States, of course. They have to. All of it is nonsense. It's a big circular logic, one after the other. It's just circular logic of nonsense after nonsense after nonsense. So, I don't even know where to start with these fucking people. Particularly AOC, who's just a dunce, and she's just being told what to say. Because she's not smart enough to grasp any of this. Do you think AOC understands anything? Think any of the squad understands any of this shit? And then your people like, oh, they're doing science. They've got their studies. Yeah, they've got an agenda, a political agenda, obviously. That's why they fucking lied. I mean, if they didn't lie, then one thing, then you could argue it. But they lied. So once you lie, then it kind of tends to make people question what the fucking deal is here. How come you're lying about this shit? How come you made some computer model in the 90s that said you're going to see all this warming by like 2010 or whatever, and it didn't come true, of course, because it was all bullshit. It was a fake model. It wasn't real. And here's the thing about a computer model. It's only as good as what people put into it. There's a saying that goes basically like garbage in, garbage out with any computer modeling. It's not fucking magic, okay? Computer modeling is not fucking magic. It's just what some humans told a machine to do. It's not even necessarily scientific. Because you put numbers into a machine and ask it to do something, and you do these differential equations over and over again to solve it for one variable you don't have. Whatever it spits out, you don't just accept that. You say, oh, here it is, here's the proof. And I don't think these models were even made available for people to peer review it. I could be wrong, but I don't think they were. So where are they getting their shit from now? The fucking models that were completely wrong in the 90s? Why are they coming up with all this shit? Now I think they're making it a little bit more transparent because, people are actually saying, like, why are you moving forward with this doomsday worst case scenario and scaring people about that? And I think it's really stupid to use like a global, they're trying to use like a global model. So you're going to model every tree in the earth? You're going to model every plant on the face of the earth to spit out how much carbon's going to be, or how much carbon and oxygen is going to be around based on an amount of industrialization, which is a very high-end assumption of the amount of industrialization. You don't know shit. You don't know a fucking thing. You're just guessing. At some point, you're just guessing. That's the thing with these guys. It's all fucking guesswork. So you can't just decide that whatever you get as an answer is legitimate. There's, even in like the simplest models that you can do, whenever possible, you have to calibrate it to real world data. That's how you do modeling for real. You have one event that you know happened, and you calibrate your inputs to that event, because otherwise it's fucking bullshit. It's just bullshit. If you have 50 years of data right now that you can use as far as your climatology. You got 50, maybe 100, maybe 200, somewhere within that. You got 50 to 100 years of temperature data and whatever data. And you're trying to extrapolate this into 4 billion years of the Earth. And you're going to pretend like you know what the fuck you're talking about. On its face, it's stupid. And it doesn't make any sense. On its face. So why are we listening to these people? Well, because, the science is settled, and we only have 6 years, we have irreversible. How the fuck do you know anything is irreversible when it comes to the Earth? Thermonuclear war, I guess, would be irreversible, but not, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. These people are just liars. I mean, I can't state that strongly enough, is that this branch of so-called science is pseudoscience. It is manipulation of statistics. It is cherry-picking of numbers. It is political in nature. There's claims that are made that nobody is even making. The so-called scientists are not even making these claims, and some politician like, Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders gets up and says, well, we only have 6 or 7 more years, and then we're going to have irreversible damage to climate change, so we have to act now. We always have to act now. Notice that? We always have to act now. We have to act now to stop white supremacy. The white nationalists, we have to stop them now. No, Bernie. We don't have to act now. The Earth is 4 billion years old. It is resilient. And the other thing that's made up is like, they're going to get more intense storms. And I know people that are engineers that swallow this shit. I'm like, I want to slap them in the fucking head. Ultimately, it doesn't fucking matter what these people say. Because we're not going to do a Green New Deal. Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to outlaw the internal combustion engine? No more fossil fuels? Why the fuck not? It's cheap. You would rather people live in poverty? Because I got news for you. 100% renewables is not fucking possible. I think we're at 3%. So when they say this dumb shit, we're going to do 100% renewables. No, you're not. You're never going to do that, ever. Anyone with a fucking brain should look at this statement and go, no, you're full of shit. This isn't a matter of just like spending more government money. It's just not feasible. You can't just make shit up. But that's a common theme among Democrats, is they're just retarded when it comes to money. Because they have all these schemes that they're gonna, I'm gonna buy this off, we're gonna buy this off, we're gonna do the fucking what is Buttigieg's? He's going to end racism by a government program. What the fuck was that one called? Frederick Douglass plan. That was my favorite. I'm going to end racism through a government fucking program. We've been trying to do that for fucking 50 years. Mayor Pete, where the fuck you been? Hasn't worked. So, 100% renewables, all these storms, climate change is going to make storms worse. And I see all these fucking retards that I would work with. Whenever it rained, semi-hard, it's a normal rain, right? But it's oh my god, it's raining hard. Oh, climate change. People say climate change isn't a thing. I'm gonna slap in their fucking head, you stupid fucking cunt. You stupid fucking cunt. This is a rainstorm. It fucking rains. Sometimes it fucking rains. It rains hard for 2 minutes. Oh, the climate change. The climate change. You people fucking vote. These people fucking vote. That's the problem. You don't know anything. You just believe anything sensational because you want to sound cool. Because you're a fucking loser. I hate these fucking people. I hate them. Nuts. They're absolutely nuts. Everybody's gone nuts. I believe everything a liberal politician tells me because I'm retarded. I don't believe anything any politician tells me. I think they're all fucking scum. I mean, how do you not come to that conclusion? How do you not come to the conclusion that all these people are lying to you and they're all full of shit? Just lap up to fucking, oh yeah, Green New Deal, we're gonna do that, yeah, we're gonna outlaw engines. Fuck you dumb bitch. How is this not laughed off the face of the earth? We're just getting stupider. I mean, maybe we're importing more dumb people and that's people start to believe the dumb shit that dumb people say, so then it becomes more mainstream. Is that what it is? So everybody just gets stupider as we go. It is essentially, let's wrap it up. Essentially, climate change is a hoax. It is. There are some people that are taking it seriously. I would assume there are some people who look at numbers, but the things that they're assuming, they're trying to make it more transparent, so you can't just say, fuck you, you're stupid. It's going to warm by, all this dramatic horse shit that never ever happens because their model is literally built on lies. So they're trying to make it more transparent. But all that's happening are people getting paid. Grifters, consultants, government contractors are getting paid, and they're ripping people off. And nothing's ever going to come of this. Because we're not going to ever be communist. We're just not. The establishment sucks, but look at they're not going to let it fall to that fucking level, okay? It's just not going to happen. So nothing's ever going to come of this. People are going to whine and bitch about it forever. But it's just not going to happen. We're going to get more stupid. They're going to implement solar roofs on everybody, but ultimately it's not going to matter. You're still going to have regular energy because otherwise people will be fucking starving. Essentially. And you've got all these developing countries that are going to need power to get their shit off the ground. Otherwise, what are you going to have them all move to the United States? No, we don't want that to happen. If you're going to develop Africa, they're going to have to develop it. They can't move the entire continent somewhere else. China, India, all these places. If you're going to actually have developing countries, they're going to need fossil fuels. And that's a good thing. The effect you have in the environment is drastically overstated. They're flat out lying about these bad things that are going to happen. You're not going to have more severe storms because you have no proof they're more severe because of climate change. You have no proof of this, and there never will be. There never will be proof that anything is caused by climate change. It's impossible to do so because you don't have enough data. Anything that happens will fall within the normal realm of possibilities. So you're just pissing in the fucking wind with all this. You're just wasting money. You want to study climate change? Whatever. You're a grifter. You work for a company that does this. More power to you. I don't give a fuck. Go get it. Go get that bread. But nothing is ever going to change. Nothing is ever going to, there's never going to be this massive overhaul of the fucking energy sector. It's fucking bullshit. We're always going to use gasoline. We're always going to use oil. We're always going to use coal to some degree. Because there's no other way out of it, motherfuckers. So fucking deal with it. Anybody who says otherwise is a fucking liar and a grifter. And that's why they have to fucking yell and scream at you, because they know they're fucking wrong. Nothing's ever going to happen because of climate change. It's a fucking grift. It's what it is. It exists to a degree, but only to a very small degree. Don't fucking worry about it. It's like anything else. Fuck it, it's weather. Fucking people.